Hello, my name is Dave Ratt, and I'm going to do some more headphone testing. If you haven't seen the other videos I've been doing, I'm looking for the ultimate live sound headphones. This pair of Sony CD3000s that I've been using for over a decade now showed up quite well. I was quite pleased to see that I wasn't so off base in my what I felt was flat. I've got a few more pair. These are the top of the heap. I've got a pair of Sony V6s that are probably the most popular live sound headphones. They're under $100 and very commonly used as a reference point. A pair of Sennheiser HD 280 Pros. Another very good headphone, very popular with live engineers. The new Shure SRH 840s. These are pretty cool headphones. They've got a removable cable. Oops, there we go. Removable cable comes off. They're kind of sturdy. They're well built. V6-like in the way they fold up. And they came up pretty good. A pair of these Ultrasone. I've been testing these things. They're a little messy here. HFI 680s showed up very flat and seemed to be quite impressive in their response. And finally, the Denon AHD 2000s. These are another nice pair of headphones. They're pretty sturdy feeling, some actual metal instead of all plastic. Best headphone cable I've ever seen. It's a cloth cable. It's almost as thick as a mic cable. It's got both sides coming off both sides. I like that. And a real nice quality pair of headphones that showed up well. So I'm going to go through and test. I got a new test set up here for this stage, phase 2 or phase 3. Let me go ahead and hook this up. I've got an analyzer here. I've got a tone generator on my laptop that is hooked up to these headphones, and as you see, the sound of the laptop goes into this BGW power amp. I've got it coming out the headphone jack, but I've got the current limiting resistors bypass, so it sees the full power of the amp. Comes into the headphone earmuff, comes out of that into this measurement mic. The measurement mic then comes out, hits this analyzer. We'll be able to see it here. Also, it's split off and shows up here on the oscilloscope. We'll be able to look at the quality of the waveform. And comes out this studio monitor sitting here. It's BBC Rogers Studio One monitor that part of my home stereo. It's a good sounding speaker that goes quite low. So we'll be able to hear what the headphone is putting out. We're listening to the measurement microphone itself. I'm going to play a series of tones. I've got 100 cycles, and let's go ahead and hook this up. 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, and we can look at all the waveforms. And we'll go through and take a look. So let's go ahead and pause this. Okay, let's move on to the V6s here. I'll patch those in, and as you can see, we got a little bit lower volume. So I'm going to have to crank up the volume. I'm going to do some makeup gain and bring that up to the same level we were running the CD3000s. Just right about there. And let's go ahead and lower the frequency down. That's 100. Now, as soon as we go to 90, we're seeing a loss already. At 80 cycles, we're beginning to see waveform distortion. At 70 cycles, our gain has come back up, and we're starting to triangulate the wave there. The wave's, a triangle wave instead of a sine wave. And that's not looking too pretty. That's at 60 cycles. We're down about a little less than a volt. 50, we're definitely seeing some clipping. The driver's probably hitting the end of its excursion there. We're seeing some harmonic issues. Here you can actually hear, I'm going to turn up the amp a little bit. You can hear that clicking sound, we can see it there, and we'll go on down. And it's not sounding good at all. We're way beyond the capabilities of these units. So I would say, based on the levels that I'm testing, we're making it down to 70, 70 or 60. Okay, so that's the V6s. Let's take a look at the Shures. By the way, I do not like coily cables. And there again, we've got a hotter output like we had off the CD3000s. Now that waveform looks a little bit distorted to me, but it sounds pretty good. So let's not put an opinion in there. That looks clean, sounds good. Let's go back up and look. Yes, we do have some more harmonic content than we saw off the CD3000s. And that is the waveform. We are slightly off of sine wave as we come down, but the harmonic content's fairly low in volume. And here we are at 70 cycles. We've got a little bit of drop in volume. At 60, we've gained it back up. We're back to nominal level. We've got some subharmonic distortion coming in and some upper harmonic distortion. 50 cycles. We've got some waveform distortion there, subharmonics. 40, 30, and 20 cycles. We've got a not so pretty waveform. These Ultrasone HFI 680s. Now these were kind of a surprise. I had actually never really used Ultrasone headphones before this testing, and I tested quite a few models in the line, and surprisingly these came up quite well. Okay, so here we are at 100, and we're seeing about the same level we saw off the last pair. Let's go ahead and drop these on down. A slight drop in level, but not much, and we're still looking pretty good. Harmonic distortion's under control. That's a nice pure form. The harmonics are fairly low in volume. We did lose about a volt there, and we're at 80 cycles. 70 cycles, we're seeing the harmonics come in, a little distortion. 60, we're coming back up. We're almost at the level we were. We've got some distortion to the waveform. We can see it here. 50, our level's still solid, low subharmonic distortion. 40, we've maintained level, and our subharmonic distortion's off the chart there. Now 30, we're still showing a fairly sine wave-like pattern and waveform, and we do have our octave up harmonic distortion, but we've got some good level there, and it's looking better than what we saw off the other set so far. And this is 20 cycles, definitely a triangle wave. We can look at that a little faster, a little slower, but it is able to reproduce 20 cycles at this level. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze the headphone against it. You can see we gain level, but we don't improve the waveform. The HFIs are looking pretty darn good. Best yet of the ones we've tested.